What's up, guys? What's going on? I'm Paul. This is Pauline Theology's Daily Devo, and we are back, and we are studying through the book of Genesis. We're on chapter 41. We have got to where the baker got his head chopped off, and then the cupbearer got placed back in his position, and that is exactly the interpretation that Joseph gave to them in the dungeon when they had these dreams that troubled them. And then Joseph asked him to do a favor, man. He said, hey, can you talk to the king about me, man? Talk to Pharaoh and tell him your boy's in prison, man. But he forgot. He said that he forgot. He doubled down on it. It says he did not remember. The cupbearer did not remember. He forgot. So that's where we're at, man. And if you are need to read, go ahead and check out 41, 1 through 8. Stop the tape, see what it has to say, and then come back and we'll discuss the 4 questions. And if you've already read, let's go ahead and jump into it. So what's going on in the story? Well, it says 2 years later. So the cupbearer forgot, man, and it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years. That's a long time. That's a long time, man. But it says 2 years later, Pharaoh was dreaming, man. He had the 2 dreams. And one of them was 7 cows came up out of the Nile. Big fat cows, you know what I'm saying, that look real good to eat, plump. And they were eating the grass, they were grazing. And then it said beside them grew up 7 gauntly cows, skinny cows, ugly cows, not good to eat. And then it says that these skinny cows ate up the big fat cows. And then Pharaoh woke up. And it said he went right back to sleep after that, and he had another dream, and it said these ears of corn or grain grew up, 7 of them, man, on one stalk. And then they were fat and plump, juicy, you know. And then another 7 behind them grew up, but they were like scorched by the east wind, blighted and looking bad. Their ears were rotten. And it says those bad ones, they ate up the good ones. And then Pharaoh woke up, man. It says he was super distressed by this. He just didn't know what was going on, you know. And I'm supposing there's something going on in this dream that is pushing him to have distress. Because, you know, Pharaoh probably dreaming all the time, right? You have dreams, we have dreams, but they don't distress us in the way that this dream distressed Pharaoh. And so he knew something was up. So what he did is he called all of the magicians, the wise people, the interpreters, everybody. He called them to him, man, and he was like, hey, what's this dream mean? What's going on in my dreams, or in my dream that I'm having? And he said, it said that nobody could figure it out. Nobody could figure it out, man. So what is this saying about God? First off, it's saying that God is sovereign, man. He's all wise. See, you think that these things happen sometimes in our lives that have no purpose or meaning, you know, but God uses those things sovereignly to manipulate and to order things to come to pass the way he's called them to. Because Joseph, from his beginning of his life, things have been tough for him, rough and tough, man. But he was in jail, and he met these guys and interpreted their dream. Now, Joseph thought it was because he was going to mention him after he rose back to his position, and that's why he was going to come get freed from jail. But it wasn't. And he just thought he was going to get freed from jail. But it wasn't. It was that he interpreted these dreams, and then as he interpreted these dreams, the cupbearer forgot about them. But then a dream of Pharaoh happened. It was because Joseph needed to interpret these guys' dreams so that Pharaoh can find somebody who can find an interpretation. And even more is going to go on as we continue the story. And so this dream interpretation that Joseph thought was just going to get him out of jail because he was going to get a favor from a friend actually was because he is going to be an interpreter for Pharaoh, an interpreter in the kingdom, an interpreter in the house of Pharaoh, man. See, things work out a little bit differently than what we assume sometimes. But God's sovereign in this, and he's all wise in his plan. The plan that he masters up and conjures up and creates is going to benefit more than just Joseph himself. But we're going to see when Joseph interprets these dreams what happens, and that is going to actually benefit the world. What does this say about man? Is patience and trust. That we should have patience, man. Now, we don't see it right now because we're not seeing all that's going on and all that's happening behind the scenes, but we can have some conjecture, man. You know, in the time that Joseph was in that jail for 2 years, it could have been time for him to grow and personally and spiritually in his trust in God and his understanding of himself and his relationship with the people around him, man. This time that he's sitting in the crock pot, you know what I'm saying, just churning, boiling, or whatever happens in a crock pot. It takes a long time, but that food be good when it come out. And so maybe that is what's going on with Joseph right now in this time of waiting, that he's beginning to mature and become more wise. And we'll see a little bit later some types of evidence of that in his reaction or his speaking with Pharaoh. And how can we apply these truths to our lives? Well, if we recognize that God is sovereign and wise in everything that he does, man, and that we should be patient and trust him in his timing, well, then that means we should be patient and trust that he knows what he's doing and that we would turn all things over to him. So the question I guess I have to ask is, are you holding anything back? Is there any part of your life that you are trying to maintain control of because you are fearful of trusting in God's sovereign, wise control of these things? I have to say, though, if we continue to read and understand the character of God, that, you may seem like you're in control, but God's plan is going to happen anyway. And so you might as well just turn these things over to him, because then we may get to see the benefit a lot quicker. And then it may not be as rough. I'm not going to say it ain't going to be rough, because we see in the life of Joseph that it's been a trial, it's been a tribulation, it's been a toil. But we'll also see blessing come from it. And that's what happens when we put our trust in God. I hope you guys are seeing God's character through these stories in Genesis, his sovereignty, his promise keeping, his loyalty, his wisdom, his truth, his faithfulness. And I hope you're seeing how we should be in relying on him and trusting in him and hoping in him and finding commitment, and then teaching these things to our children and to disciple those who are around us who are children in the faith. I've been appreciating you guys listening, man, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. And I'll see you in the next episode.